Hi everybody, it's the hashtag 4th Art Saturday video hop, and our theme is Use It Up. I want to thank so much Meri Atelier for allowing me to be a part of the hop. Let's get started. So, use it up. I have a few things. This is my Graphic 45 leftovers, and it was the Alice in Wonderland. I'm sure it wasn't called that. I'm using some metallic paints. Basically, with metallic paint, you really should paint the background before you use them because they're very clear, very sheer. But that's okay. I like the look that it gives me. And I'm also using up some garbage that I had laying around to spread the paints all the way to the edge. I like the way it mixes it up. I love the color. It's very, to me, it's very steampunky looking, and it has a shimmer to it. I'm doing the edges as well, and I don't really care if it's, exacting. I have a Samhain book from Llewellyn's, and I don't want to rip up my book, so I just copied a page, and since this is for me, I don't think there should be any problems with that. Using two of the photographs that there was in there. One is New Ways, and the other one is the wheel, the year, so I decided to use that. And this is leftover glitter Mod Podge. Who doesn't want to use up their glitter Mod Podge? I don't know. So just spreading that around, getting that to adhere. A base. Now, yes, it's not completely dry, and that's okay because I did want it to look worn and used. So, Recollections had tarot cards that you were to use for decorations, and I saved them. I didn't want to use them, but I thought this would be a perfect place to use them. The two cards that I picked out was a male and female, sort of like a yin-yang kind of thing. And these are my own embellishments that I made years ago. Oh, I can't even remember when. With paper clips, paper, some findings that I had hanging around because I do make jewelry. And there's one little piece back there that's on there, the butterfly. That was a piece of PMC jewelry I made. Now these black cardstock was holding it because I was using it for to attach to books and a way to hold the embellishment until I used it. And I thought it'd be a great way to just attach it to the top of the canvas. This is an 8x8 canvas that I'm using. And see, I just took the, oh, by the way, the Mod Podge I'm using here is actually an outdoor version. I had some left over. I didn't think we needed glitter everywhere, but I did think the outdoor version of the Mod Podge would do well here. So, and I like having movement on my pieces, so you're going to see, I try to check to make sure that I don't glue down the clips. I'll move them to make sure they see. I'm trying to make sure they move because I like that when it moves. Yeah, definitely. I know it's not a moving piece, but it just makes me feel better. And moving on, these little flowers on the side, I think I made them back in the year 1 because they were in an Altoids box, and I would come across them every once in a while and think, oh, I forgot I had these, and never use them. So this is a perfect opportunity to put them out there and feel like they were put to good use. Most of this stuff that I'm using, it was just found stuff around my studio. Now, I just bought myself a Cricut. I've been waiting years to do that. I finally did it, and the first thing they have you do is they have you print out a sticker. So I didn't know what I was going to do with it. And I thought, well, you know what? We're just going to stick it on the canvas. What's the big deal? Let's see what happens. I work intuitively. I just take my pieces, go with it. Sometimes I have a theme in mind or an idea. I tend to go, oh, see that thing in the corner? That was a piece I had for making books. Say hello, Lacey. And now the Graphic 45 is three-dimensional card, really heavy-duty cardstock. And you have to be careful if you do this. You have to weigh them down because they start to curl up and pull away. Then the paper is from the same, was it the same? No, this was from a calendar Graphic 45. They had papers that were oriented to the calendar, and that was November's. So I used that as borders. Now these are in my stash that I had painted or used, or was going to use, and I never did. You see where I'm trying to make sure that they all sit nice. I overdo the Mod Podge to have them stick. So here the gears are, they are cardstock gears. They're very heavy. They're not just paper. Some of them are metal or metal-like. I have a variety of them, but they just kind of hang around. And sometimes I find things to use them for, and sometimes they just don't fit what I'm doing. So I have to deal with it. All right, so you'd see just, I think getting your fingers into your canvas and just plowing away at it. Now, you might think that this is all going to be globby. It isn't really when you see the final picture after everything dries. And I'm considering doing some, what do they call that? Putting some resin on top of it to seal it. I'm thinking about it. Now I know my little paper clips will have to, I don't know, I'd have to do something to make that work, but I'll make it work. Figure it out. So I just sped this up because it is a process, and I think it's better when it's fast and you see it. You don't want to sit there waiting for me, because I mull about things. I look around, think about what I want to do. I let something dry, or I'll pick it up. As you can see, putting everything together is, I love this time of season. It started to cool off around here, and I just really, it really makes me happy. Fall makes me happy, I think, because in the fall you can always wear something, and whatever could cover you up, I think works. So you see that piece on top of the butterfly? That is actually a piece of precious metal clay with a stone embedded on it. Yep, so now I found this embellishment. I bought a whole bunch of them. This was the last one that has the clock in the center with the wings. And yeah, I thought, all right, you know what? I'll put this here. So I'm using the two different metallic colors to sort of give it some shading, make it stand out a little bit. I don't want bright colors. I mean, actually the red to some degree is a little wacky doodle for me. So I'm taking the leftover paint and just dry brushing on different parts of the piece, because I like that look. I like it looking edgy. Now I do take some of the paint and I use my finger and brush it over the skeleton and the zombie tarot card. And actually you may think that it really blocks it out. In the video it looks like it does, but in real life it doesn't. It just pushes it back, which I like. I like the fact that it pushes it back. And now with the winged clock, I only force the center down. The wings are loose, and the wings are actually sitting on some other things, popping it up. And I like that 3-dimensional, like it's coming out of the canvas. And they had the hands of the clock where you could put them together. I'm sort of fussing about deciding where do I want to put those. And I decided to focus in on the 2 sheets I started with, the 2 background pieces I started with. So I put some paint on it, throw some Mod Podge over it, and then that says New Ways. So I have that sort of focusing in on that, and the other one is going to go up, and I have that pointing to the Samhain point of the wheel. It's the wheel of the year for those that understand what that whole thing is. And there's the piece. Look at it's kind of cool. I had to fix it because the wind blew it down a couple of times, but I really like the sun. I'm going to let you enjoy the music and see you later. I hope you enjoyed this. Please go visit my friends and theirs and look at what they have. Give them a like, subscribe if you enjoyed this. See you next time.